Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about some shows like we usually do, but specifically, let's talk about amazing shows that only have 6 episodes. Before we get started, check this out. My t-shirts came in, and this is a shirt that just speaks my mind. That's great. Can I get back to my show now? If you want to get them, there's a link in the description. There's something special about shows that manage to fully throw you into their world in just 6 episodes. Build compelling characters and relationships and drama. Some shows don't do that very well at like 1,000,000 episodes per season. Anything above 13 episodes, by the way, is 1,000,000 episodes. You don't need so many. You usually don't even need 13. Netflix, stop it. The problem with all of your originals is 3 extra episodes. Unless it's Iron Fist, then it should be negative episodes. I'll take my compensation in the form of 3 more seasons of Sense8. Make those seasons 8 episodes though. So in no specific order, here are a few of my favorite 6 episode shows. Some of these are 1 season and that's it, and some of these went on for more seasons. All of them are beautiful and excellent, and if you don't like them, that's fine. You just have a wrong opinion. Some people are born with wrong opinionitis. It's a very common medical condition. Very, very common. Where was I? Oh yes. TV shows. Number 5 is Show Me a Hero. Show Me a Hero is an HBO miniseries starring Oscar Isaac, who is, along with everybody on the cast of this show, incredible in this show. It tells the story of how a civil rights violation pretty much tore the city of Yonkers, New York apart. This is a true story, and it focuses on a young politician, Nick Wasisco, as he pretty much paves the way for low-income housing in largely white neighborhoods, ending decades of segregation. What I love about this show is that while Nick does fight for something good and right, the show doesn't paint him as a hero or really even as the good guy. This is a show that feels incredibly real, and all the characters in it don't feel like characters in a show, they just feel like people. Nick is kind of an asshole. He cares mostly about his own political future, which aligns with the things that he's fighting for. And he also wants to end segregation, but he's not exactly an activist. The show also explores the deep-rooted systemic racism that was and probably still is a key component of all of this, and it does it in a raw and powerful way. This is one of those shows where mostly people just sit in rooms and talk, and it's fascinating. You can find it wherever you can get HBO stuff. It is harsh, and it's real, and it's an amazing true story, and it's only 6 episodes. Number 4 is The Fall. It ran for 3 seasons. Seasons 1 and 2 are spectacular. Season 3 I thought was not as good. I actually thought it was nowhere near as good as 1 and 2, but overall it's still an incredible show. It tells the story of one of the greatest detective goes after killer cat and mouse games I've ever seen. Detective Superintendent Stella Gibson is brought in to hunt down a serial killer who goes after young women mainly, and one of the best things about this show is that it doesn't set you up for a twist. You know from the first episode exactly who the killer is. You know exactly what's going on and who everybody is, and the show is purely about this hunt, this game between Stella, who is a charismatic, brilliant detective played beautifully by Gillian Anderson, and Paul Spector, a deranged yet very composed and equally brilliant killer, who gets a little addicted to playing mind games with Stella. Even though the conclusion of the story in season 3 doesn't really do the rest of the show justice, it's still one of my favorite detective shows, and yet another show that shows you what you can do with only 6 episodes. Number 3, let's go with Misfits. I only watched the first 2 seasons and I loved both of them. They did increase the episode count in later seasons, but I also hear that the later seasons are not as good, so there you go. Misfits tells the story of a group of kids who get superpowers while doing community service. They're all incredibly different, the powers that they get are unique, and the way that those powers affect them is fascinating. The first 2 seasons of this show are so much fun, it's crazy. But at the same time, Misfits does incredibly solid character development, and it manages to, at the same time, be ridiculous and moving. There is an amazing balance in this show. Whether the later seasons are really not as good or not, the first two are very much worth a watch. Fun times. 6 episodes. For number 2, I was thinking either The Night Manager or Glitch, and I'm gonna go with Glitch, simply because I want more people watching this show. The Night Manager is gonna be fine. It's Loki versus House. Glitch is an Australian show that takes place in a small town where people started kind of coming back from the dead. But they're not flesh-eating zombies, they're just them, those people. They're just back now. And James, the local cop, has to sort of deal with this whole thing, and the challenge is compounded by the fact that his wife, or ex-wife, is one of the dead people who are no longer dead. To be honest, it's not like this is the best looking show or has the best performances ever, but it feels original, and the story is incredibly compelling. This is one of those stories where it feels like if this crazy, impossible thing actually happened in real life, this is how it would go down. There's one scene in this show where James, his ex-dead ex-wife, and his current pregnant wife all have to sit down and deal with what's happening. And it is just such a great moment because this is exactly how it would happen. It's incredible and it feels so real. The rest of the show follows James and a doctor who works with him and all the people who returned as they try to figure out what happened. It's on Netflix. It has 2 seasons right now. It's great. 2 thumbs up. 6 episodes. Number 1, and this one is number 1 for me, my favorite out of the bunch, is River. River tells the story of John River, a detective, as he tries to solve a murder. On the surface, it's just another BBC crime drama. A detective goes after a killer and that's it. But that is really not the focus of this show. The focus is John River. This is an in-depth character study of one of the most interesting characters I've ever seen. When we meet him, John's sanity is very fragile, and the way that the show expresses that and the things that he's going through mentally as he works the case are breathtaking. Stellan Skarsgård as John River delivers such a fascinating performance. This show is really nothing short of a masterpiece. It's on Netflix, and it's absolutely mind-blowing what they were able to do in only 6 episodes. Obviously, there are a ton of other great 6 episodes shows, enough for me to make another one of these videos for sure. Peaky Blinders, for example, is one of my all-time favorite shows, but I already talk about that show so much, I've made like 4 videos about how good it is. And I wanted to mention other shows that maybe you haven't watched or heard about. And that's it. What about you? What's your favorite 6 episode show, or, you know, any show that has fewer episodes from the normal 10 or 13 or a million episodes? Or just generally, what are some other shows that you want me to talk about? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's get the discussion going. If you're going to be talking about spoilers, please use spoiler tags in your comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out a lot. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram and TV Time, links to everything down below. Also to our Discord server where we chat about TV and it's a lot of fun. And if you're finding Binge Watchers for the first time, welcome. I'd like to invite you to join the Binge Watchers community. Come talk about TV with us. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe to the channel. But in any case, keep binging, and I will see you next time.